and this is of the Prime Minister's tour. He's touring, remember, 5 countries in 8 days, and on the agenda, a boost for cooperation in critical minerals, defense, clean energy as well. And his next stop is going to be Brazil. He's in Argentina. We'll be shortly joined by Ambassador Dinesh Bhatia for more on his visit to Brazil. But remember, thank you so much, sir, for joining us. We'll just come to you first. A look at this report on the Prime Minister's visit, and you know, the big focus in Brazil will be on the BRICS summit. Take a look.
It's Prime Minister Modi's longest diplomatic trip. 5 countries, 8 days, and a packed strategic agenda. India is looking to boost cooperation on critical minerals, defense, digital infrastructure, and clean energy. But all eyes are on BRICS 2025. India's top diplomatic priority is to ensure terrorism is called out in clear terms. The BRICS declaration is set to strongly condemn the Pahalgam terror attack, where 26 people, mostly tourists, were killed in Jammu and Kashmir. India responded with Operation Sindhu, targeting terror infrastructure across the border. At BRICS, India's messaging will go beyond security. Major outcomes are expected to include a framework for climate finance, collaboration on artificial intelligence, and a new health initiative aimed at reducing disparities and improving outcomes. India will also push for trade settlements in national currencies, a quiet shift already underway across the global south. Even as Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russia's Vladimir Putin skip the summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be meeting Brazilian President Lula. Post-summit, Modi heads into bilateral meetings, particularly in Brazil, where defense and energy partnerships are on the menu. Brazil is eyeing India's Akash air defense systems and offshore patrol vessels, and discussions may extend to civil nuclear cooperation. The tour follows India's bold refusal to endorse a Shanghai Cooperation Organization joint statement that ignored the Pahalgam attack despite acknowledging incidents in Pakistan. That diplomatic brush-off set the tone for India's assertive stand at BRICS. For India, BRICS is about direction on terror, trade, technology, and trust among emerging powers. New Delhi is making sure its voice is heard and its red lines are respected. With Ridhima Kedia, Bureau Report, NDTV World.
Well, let's go across now to Ambassador Dinesh Bhatia. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to NDTV. Sir, a lot of excitement among the Indian diaspora there in Brazil ahead of the Prime Minister's visit. If you can tell us a bit about what all is planned. Also, a bilateral state visit of the Prime Ministers to Brasilia.
Absolutely. Honorable Prime Minister will be arriving Brazil this evening, and he'll be here for 2 days to participate in the BRICS summit. And thereafter, he goes to Brasilia to pay a state visit to Brazil, which is happening after about 57 years. There has not been a state visit of Indian Prime Minister to Brazil, and that's a landmark visit. With 3 days in Brazil, he has a very expanded agenda from multilateral to bilateral. He'll be having bilateral talks in Brasilia with President Lula, and of course, he'll be meeting several heads of states during BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro.
That's right, sir. If you could tell us more about what's on the table for the BRICS summit. The focus, of course, of the Prime Minister has been for a while, and this summit is the global south. And also, interestingly, India will be taking over chairmanship of BRICS for next year.
Absolutely. The BRICS, the core agenda has always been global governance reform as well as financial institution reform. And that continues to be the core agenda of BRICS. And with BRICS presidency led by Brazil this year, they have added certain more subjects which are very relevant at this point of time, which include basically global health cooperation, climate change, reform of multilateral institutions, and also the institutional development of BRICS, because BRICS has expanded from 4 to 5 in 2011 and now 5 to 11. And there are 11 partner countries which are going to be participating in the BRICS summit for the first time in Rio de Janeiro. So BRICS has a very expanded agenda and expanded membership, and there will be discussions among them on all these core issues. Climate change is a core subject for Brazil because they are also chairing COP30 this year, and they'll be hosting the COP30 in November. These are the core issues which will be discussed during the BRICS summit.
That's right, sir. And, BRICS, it is being said, has become even more significant given, how geopolitics is right now, lots of, tariff pressures, etc. So BRICS becomes even more significant?
BRICS has always been significant. It's a very useful organization, a multilateral body for us, and we value our participation in BRICS. India has been the founder of BRICS, and we have, in fact, Prime Minister Modi has participated in each and every BRICS summit since his government in 2014. As a matter of fact, if I remind you, Prime Minister's first ever foreign visit outside of Indian subcontinent was to Brazil to participate in the BRICS summit in 2014.
That's right, sir. Also, coming back to the Prime Minister's visit and, what is planned for him, is there some sort of a football diplomacy being planned?
Well, there are a lot of things being planned. He'll be received well by the Indian community in Rio as well as in Brasilia. And there are several meetings which are being planned with other heads of states. The plate is full at the moment, and we are preparing. We are left with just a few hours before his arrival.
That's right, just a few hours left, and the Prime Minister has been receiving various honors. He was just given the highest civilian honor in Ghana. If you know of anything planned there in Brazil?
I will leave it to the 8th of July when Prime Minister will be meeting President Lula, and if there is something, you will get to know on 8th of July.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ambassador Dinesh Bhatia, for speaking to us here at NDTV. Prime Minister Modi will be arriving in Brazil later tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.